coming out later in life. It goes way beyond finally being honest about who you're attracted to. You don't have to pretend anymore. There's this relief. But you're also dealing with decades of hiding who you really are, the relationships you never had, the experiences you missed, and the scary truth that you're starting from scratch when you feel like your best years are behind you. Today, we're getting into what it's really like when you come out later in life, and if there's actually any hope left when you suspect you've already missed your chance. What catches most people off guard is something else entirely: grief. When you come out later in life, you're not just celebrating freedom, you might find yourself grieving the decades you spent living as someone else. Every birthday party where you brought a friend instead of a date. Every night you lay in bed wondering what your life would look like if you had the courage to be yourself. Some have never even held hands with someone they're attracted to. Never felt what it's like to be wanted by someone who really sees you. Here's a comment I got to one of my videos. Now at 53, I've never been on a date, never been kissed, never been hugged or loved by another man. I've missed out on a lot. And if that grief wasn't hard enough, there's something else going on too. That voice in your head that spent decades telling you this was wrong, it doesn't just disappear when you come out. Years of hearing you're broken, sinful, or less than, these thoughts stick around. Someone wrote this on my video. The self-loathing I was taught my entire life is nearly impossible to combat. Getting comfortable with who you are while fighting off decades of that messaging, that takes some serious strength. Now, these internal battles are hard enough, but then you have to deal with rejection from the outside world too. When you're in your 20s and come out, families are dealing with the fact that you're gay. When you're in your 50s or beyond, they also need to process years of what they thought they knew about you. Some get angry, some get confused, some just shut down completely. And after you get through the family stuff, there's something else waiting when you face for the first time the mainstream gay scene of bars and dating apps. You might think, finally, my people, but instead of feeling welcomed, you feel like a tourist in your own community. Everyone seems to know how this all works. The unwritten rules, the references you don't get, the shared experiences you missed. You're gay, but you're also the new guy, and being new at our age feels different than being new at 20. And then you realize something else. The gay world can be brutal about age. When the whole culture developed around quick hookups and bars, it's no wonder that youth and looks are what matters most. You realize most of the guys your age have been part of this world for decades, while you're just figuring out the basics. You try dating apps and feel completely lost. Everyone else seems to know how this works with all these acronyms and emojis, while you're stumbling through it. By the way, I've got a weekly newsletter where I share more insights like this to help you navigate gay life at any age. The link to sign up for free is in the video description. Now, I know everything I've described so far sounds pretty discouraging. And yes, you came out later than some people, and you're learning things that others learned decades ago maybe. But there's another side to the story. You're also bringing life experience, wisdom, and perspective to this that younger people don't have. You know who you are outside of your sexuality. You've built a career, maybe raised children even, survived losses and challenges that have shaped your character. Rather than starting from zero, you're bringing decades of life experience to this. Now, I know the ageism, feeling like an outsider, the confusing apps, all of this can feel pretty discouraging. But here's the thing, not everyone in the gay world is caught up in that. There are guys out there who are looking for genuine friendships or even someone to actually build a life with. Here's a comment I got that shows what's possible. I came out at 45 and my husband and I met when I was 50, and we're going strong and loving life. Many guys skip the bar scene entirely and are much happier for it. Instead, think hiking groups, book clubs, volunteer work, places where you can actually talk to people without the pressure to perform. And this isn't necessarily about finding dates. A lot of guys just want one gay friend to talk to, someone who understands what you've been through. These spaces let you meet people who happen to be gay while doing something you actually enjoy. There's another thing that's important to say here. You've survived decades in a world that wasn't safe for you. That takes strength most people can't imagine. Coming out later just means you're finally done hiding who you've always been. It's never too late to be yourself. It's never too late to build the life you actually want. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you came out later in life, what's been the biggest surprise about the journey? And if you're still considering it, what's holding you back? Your story matters, and it could help someone else take their next step. Love you all.